what Savan is exactly.
Watches to me was a passion since I was a young child.
What was the fund exactly?
Typically, they recommend every 5 years you service a luxury watch.
How these Gen Zs are pursuing and how do you think your business will last?
So what mindset exactly an entrepreneur should have?
First, it started off as a collection, and then the passion stemmed from there, and that's how it grew. So the idea is just 1% of it. The other 99% is execution.
From precision engineering to purpose, today we are at Savance Global to know the journey of young and energetic entrepreneur, Mr. Nikhil Melligeri. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you.
For your valuable time.
Thank you, Shreyas. Happy to be here.
Thank you. So, sir, can you tell us a little bit about what Savan is exactly?
So, Savance is a luxury watch servicing facility.
Okay.
We are specialized in Swiss standards to work on these high-end, luxury, expensive Swiss timepieces with very complicated mechanical movements inside. By mechanical movement, I mean the watch runs off mechanical power. So when, for example, when you move your hand, there's a pendulum that swings, and so that is what powers the watch. And we are specialized to take apart those watches, put them back together, and service the entire thing.
Okay.
Make your old watch look brand new, and then we send it back to our customer.
So, is it like every month you have to service them, or every?
So typically they recommend every 5 years you service a luxury watch.
Okay.
Most people don't really bother about it, but you are supposed to every 5 years because there's a lot of wear and tear in the movements inside. A lot of from wearing it and moving around, there's a lot of wear and tear on the bracelet. So it's recommended every 5 years that you service your watch.
Okay. So is it only the mechanical watch?
We do. We specialize in mechanical. That's like what that is considered the pinnacle of watchmaking or timekeeping.
Okay.
We do also. We can do squat servicing. It is little simpler technically, but we can do that as well. We are not bound by any rules that we only do mechanical watches.
Okay. And how did you found your passion in the watch industry specifically?
So this watches to me was a passion since I was a young child.
Okay.
My father gave me my first watch when I was, I think, 7 or 8 years old, and it was his first watch. He passed it down to me.
Okay.
I was just enamored by it, like this thing does the same thing as that thing on the wall, the clock.
Yeah.
So it was a cool concept for me to think about it then. And then since then, slowly I built up a little collection. My dad would hand me down some pieces. I purchased some pieces,
Yeah.
So first it started off as a collection, and then the passion stemmed from there, and that's how it grew into, ideas came about, and that's why we ended up here today.
Okay. And now many young youths will be inspired by you. So can you share a little bit about your journey? Like what are the challenges you faced, or how you came up with the specific niche here?
So this idea actually, so this venture is a partnership between me and my partner Manu Saukar.
Okay.
He's my second cousin.
Okay.
He lives in Brooklyn. We both shared a passion for watches, so this was born through that shared passion.
Yeah.
So him and me, were just talking one day. I had run into an issue where I had purchased a watch, and so it fell, and then there was some service needed for it because the sapphire on the crystal on it broke.
Okay.
So I took it to 3 or 4 service centers, and they said it'll take roughly 2 to 3 months and a significant amount of money, almost 20% of the watch value.
Okay.
And that got me thinking, saying there must be a better way to do this. I don't want to wait 2 to 3 months or pay 20% of the value of the watch to get it serviced. So I brought it up to him saying, hey, listen, is there any solution to this? And we both were thinking, and then one day he called me. He said, you spend time in India, why don't we just start servicing this in India? Then we both started talking. We had a long talk, and we realized, you know what? There's labor arbitrage. We already have infrastructure in place from the parent company. By parent company, I mean ICUS.
Yeah.
It already there. It operates out of a special economic zone. So we thought this might be perfectly suited for us to set up a facility or get into this industry in this manner.
Okay. So it is like you faced the issue, and to solve it better in a better way, you started this.
And yes, and I would like to say that watch I did not get serviced until this facility was opened, and I did in fact get it serviced here for a significantly cheaper amount.
Okay, so your watch, that was the first watch you serviced in this facility?
Not the first watch, but it was that I did not get that watch serviced anywhere else. I did wait until this was open to get it done. So it is from the problem to the solution was all done through this idea and through these facilities.
Okay. So like to do all this, it is very challenging, and you need someone who can guide you. So can you tell me like who are like about your role models, and who was the like your mentor?
So obviously the biggest influence in terms of business and entrepreneurship in my life is my father.
Okay.
He started multiple successful companies from the ground up, and just growing up around that and seeing him working and seeing him, the way he moves and how he deals with situations, problems, business. And he made sure he taught us as well, this specifically growing up. He would ask us questions, he would give us, assignments to do, not really assignments, but like, you ask us and challenge us in terms of, to develop that business mindset, and it kind of rubbed off on us. And so he is that way a big role model when it comes to entrepreneurship and business, because I've seen what he has done and the scale to which he has done it, and I would like to also achieve something similar. And another mentor of mine is my partner Manu. So before we were partners, he's my second cousin, but we also had a very close bond where we always shared with each other, and issues and when things I couldn't necessarily discuss with not like non-business stuff, I could discuss with him as well, things I couldn't discuss necessarily with other people, and that's how we go close. That's how the shared passion we realized we had, and that's another reason we have got to here, is because he comes with a different perspective than what the teachings my dad brought me. So the combination of both has allowed for us to be here right now.
So you mentioned about your father used to give you few assignments.
Yep.
So can you just briefly explain about any one assignment which you did which had a really big impact on your journey?
I would say all of them were, there wasn't one with a specific greater impact. The culmination of all of them is what the impact was. So I would, for example, there was everything from, he would send us an article, ask us to read it, and then question us about it. Or he made me, for example, once he told me, read this book, then based on that, it was a book about investing, and he said based on that, you pick 4 or 5 stocks which you think are worthy of investing in, and then I will go through and see what you have learned from the book and how you've picked these stocks. That was an assignment.
Okay.
I remember when we were very little, he told us about, an investment Warren Buffett had made, and he asked us to work out the math and how much return he would get. And we were maybe middle school, 5th, 6th, 7th grade. So getting exposure to this at that young age, like, it really made us think in a way we wouldn't have otherwise. So all of that combined over the years, over the last 25 years, I would say, has shaped and molded my brain to be like this.
So it prepared you for the upcoming challenges ahead.
Yes, and then I say we because I do have a brother and sister. So this was, the teachings were given to all three of us, not just
Okay.
So what was the first breakthrough moment as an entrepreneur?
So this is actually not my first venture. I have previously had a startup which me and my friends in college had worked on called We Connect. I don't know, one day just came together, we were throwing around ideas, and we realized there was an issue in the way we are learning. So we didn't like how we use this canvas to submit assignments online. You just do it, submit it, and we thought, okay, why don't we create a learning management system where students can collaborate? If you are trying to do your work, I'm trying to do my work, we can do it together, So that was our first startup. We didn't have any employees, but we did have 20 to 30 interns, which we brought on by, we offered internships to college students who were graduating and had no internship experience, and then so that would bolster their resume, and in return we would get 3 months of internship out of them. We also helped them work on their resumes, their LinkedIns, just get them ready for the real world job market. And that was going good. As it was my first startup, we went in not knowing anything. We're very new to it, so we made some mistakes along the way, and that venture eventually there were some problems and we had to shut it down. And that, honestly, I would say has prepared me, learning from those mistakes, to now, this is the second venture. It has, taught me a lot to where I won't repeat the same mistakes. And obviously mistakes will be made and you do learn from the mistakes, but I understand now how much more difficult it is to start and operate a business than just that most people think. And as my dad always said growing up, he said the idea is just 1% of it, the other 99% is execution. So I understand that now, difficulty of.
So as you mentioned right now that it was your first startup. So what was the exact fund for your first startup?
First startup was bootstrap. Just me and my friends, whatever money we could put together, we did that. We formed an LLC in US. Like I said, we didn't have money, so that's why we created this whole internship model. So that way we don't have to pay people. We brought them in as unpaid interns. We helped them bolster their resume, and in return we got some programming out of it. Help from them. So yeah, that one was completely bootstrapped. Little bit, whatever we could here and there we took, and that's how we funded that company.
So everyone has something like you have started the Savance, and this watch is like creative and innovative. So how do you stay innovative and updated to the updates regularly?
In terms of in the business, or so for example, we were recently at the technical watchmaker show in Switzerland, in La Chaux-de-Fonds, and there we got a chance to meet a lot of vendors for this industry. And this industry, we call it SAV in French. It means service après-vente, which means after sales service, and that is where actually our name is derived from, Fonts. So it is a watchmaker, that is a conference for SAV essentially, for all after sales service of watches. There's suppliers there, there's watchmakers, there's brands, and so you get to meet them, and we got to see all the new technologies coming out that could help us in doing this business. There was machines we had never seen before that could do automatic hand placement on the watch. There was machines laminar flow machines that helped create a dust-free environment. And you see, some of these are older technologies, but there's always newer and improved versions, whatever slight improvement it may be. So going to events like this definitely helps us stay on track, stay updated. You get to get exposure to other brands, you get to learn what they're doing. So that's what helps us stay innovative and ahead of the game, and make sure that we are evolving as the industry evolves.
So throughout this journey, like from starting to the Savance and still going on, what are some of the toughest decisions you have made?
Toughest decisions? So business-wise, initially a tough decision was to do this business in India. And I mean, what we thought was the easy part of our business, all the infrastructure is there, it will help us. When we first came and we went around exploring, we were very unhappy because we could not find anyone to come work for us, in terms of watchmakers, because we thought there was an abundance of, it's a very small pool of what people doing this work. And so the first 6 months we couldn't find anyone, and we were so much, we were in despair, and we didn't know what to do, and it was a struggle, and tough decision was, just keep going on. We kept finding new avenues to hire people, and the decision to keep going was tough, but we kept doing it. And another 2 months down the line, we found one guy, another guy, then slowly our talent pool kept increasing until we are what stage we are at today. And we are around 15 members strong in terms of actual direct workforce working on the watches. And in terms of other challenges, there's always challenges of management challenges, letting go of people. You brought people on, especially as a startup. You are a small tight community, small group, and everyone you grew with these people over the last year and a half, and it's more than just, okay, these are employees or this is partner. You become almost like a family, and the decision to let someone go is very hard, and it takes a lot of something to do that, and it's very heartbreaking. But tough decisions have to be made in business and to move forward. And obviously these kind of things hurt, and it hurts the entire group, but these types of decisions need to be done so that the business can be successful, and you can keep the strongest members and the most impactful, and whoever is helping the most.
So could you share me a failure or setbacks that you have thought from that something more valuable, or which added something more value to your life?
So when we designed this facility, it was me and my partner. We traveled around to a couple facilities around the world, and we saw their facilities, how they were operating. We came back to India, and we modeled this facility around that. So initially it was just me and him. We have not worked in this field. We are not architects. We are not interior designers. We just tried to we found this space. We tried to work with it. We tried to work around what we had and what resources we had. And 6-7 months later, we ended up with whatever facility we had. And to be honest, it was not exactly what we wanted. There was shortcomings. There's dust issues. There was a polishing room was not set up correctly. And initially we were like, oh no, what do we do? But then we realized, we have this, let's make the most of it. We don't need to spend more money, we'll just find workarounds, So we found out a way to fix the dust issue. We reorganized our polishing room so that polishers can continue to work there, and it's things like this. So it was our failure, but working through those challenges helped us to get a better understanding of the facility and the requirements better than ever before. And in the future, when we build a additional facility, or second facility, or a third facility, we are now much better suited to handle that, and we will we know all the problems, so we can address it, and from the get-go build a foolproof facility that has all our needs met.
So you said so much about your company. So of course you might be not the only one who is running this whole company of yours.
Yes.
There might be a big team behind this, because even when you gave us this tool and when we saw a lot of professionals working there, how did you find these professionals?
So as I mentioned, initially it was very difficult, especially watchmakers. We thought at one point we were like, there's not a single one who is available in India, but we just realized we were targeting recruitment the wrong way. We were trying to search online or to people we know, but we realized there's a big help that we were overlooking was LinkedIn. We simply just put watchmakers India.
Okay.
We generated a list of people, and we started reaching out, and it just took 1 or 2 people to reach back out to us to validate that this is a plausible idea. And the interest they showed to us was it gave us that hope that okay, this is doable. That if these people are willing to work for us, then other people will be willing to work for us. And So it started slowly, one person, 2%, 3%, and as they joined and they spread the news that there's this new company Savance and the culture is so and so, people themselves started sending their CVs, and we even started getting people from the Middle East, Indians who had moved there, Indian diaspora in the Middle East, who were living there alone. Their families are all in India, and we gave them an opportunity to come back here.
Exactly.
You can stay with your family, you'll get paid similar amount, because first of all, your cost of living there is so much. By the time you live yourself and send money back home, you'll be left with God knows how much. So you come here, you can stay with your family, you'll get paid great salary, and you can just be at home. Is how I saw it.
And so then it must be like now how we need engineers, we need doctors, like specific these doctors for this type of surgery, So then now in your company, what was the initial person whom you needed for the watch or for the
So the heart of this business is obviously a watchmaker and polishers who both combined will get your watch looking working and looking brand new. But initially we were looking for just a senior level person with connects within this industry in India, so that they can help us navigate a little bit, so we won't be complete outsiders. We were coming here blind. We wanted someone who had experience doing this on this side of the world and could help us get connections, get suppliers, get any resources we needed, get talent. So that was our first what we targeted, and using that process we then targeted that and then grew our workforce from there.
So now you have a very big team working under you.
Yes, we have roughly indirect and direct combined, we have roughly 25 people.
Okay, that's actually a good number.
Yes.
So then how do you keep yourself at a mark to motivate those to always come and work for you or for the company? So how do they always be so productive?
I am Chief Management Officer. We also have a General Manager, Sushil. So we work together to make sure daily operations here are run company. So at times we need to play good cop, bad cop. So I play good cop, he plays bad cop, and sometimes the roles are reversed. So we try to foster an environment of we will push you, we will be hard on you, but also on the other end there'll be easygoing, chill. Exactly, kata mita. So that's there, and that's not just between how we are interacting with them. It's also how they interact with each other, and we tell them, like the other day I told them directly, I'm not afraid to do this. I'm afraid to tell you guys this, but end of the day, it's just we're a services company doing service on watches. What matters is your output and productivity.
Exactly.
You have all the fun you want, do whatever, but end of the day, you should give me X amount of watches or X amount of productivity, and everything else is fine. You make jokes, do all that. It's fine. In fact, it's good and healthy to have a good work-life balance like that. But end of the day, you should focus on your productivity and make sure you meet that mark. That's
And moreover, to connecting to this itself. So now there might be few quarrels. There might be few like negative impact also on your workers. So then how do you manage that? How do you dissolve that?
So we try to let things like that work themselves out before we get involved. So if there's two employees having a fight or something, we'll try to let them resolve it themselves before we get involved, because then resolving a conflict actually helps you grow more than if that conflict never existed. If you are able to get over that conflict, you are then closer and better off as companions, workers, whatever, co-employees than you ever were before, because you took that hard decision to get over that instead of just never talk to each other. So first step is that let them try to get through it. If not, we will do some intervention, have a sit down, but that is always awkward. Yeah, I'm sitting here, two of them sitting, and I'm trying to mediate that. No, that doesn't work. So usually nothing too serious has happened till now. Whatever small things, it's all camaraderie. End of the day, people say names, they make jokes, and people are hurt in the moment, but 2-3 days down the line they'll realize it was joke, or they'll say something back jokingly, and we don't want to foster that kind of environment, back and forth, but it doesn't get out of hand. We make sure the camaraderie stays within limits, so that it's a good, healthy working environment, and when needed, we step in and address the problem as well.
And then now you have said a lot about your team now. So now let's move ahead towards how your whole company is finding people. Like you need customers for a company.
Yes.
Because the main criteria or the main objective of a company is to service the watches. So of course you need clients there.
Yes.
So then how do you reach to the clients, or how do clients reach to you?
So we are an exclusively B2B company, business to business. So we are not dealing with the consumer end at all. We target brands, work out deals with them. They have their consumers. Their consumer gives watches to the brand outsources it to us. We service and send it back. And it's as if the brand serviced the watch. So we have nothing to do with the customer facing end. We are happy to be just B2B service oriented. That saves us a lot of headache, because finding one customer who will then give us 10,000 customers is easier than individually going and finding 10,000 customers. Right? So that is the benefit of this model, because say we reach capacity with one company, we don't have to go out and find 20 or 50 or 100 more customers. We can just identify one more brand, talk to them, and immediately we'll have thousands of more customers through them, because they'll be giving their watches to them. So that's how we...
Can you name few companies that you are working with? Like, are they our clients?
Yeah,
companies?
we are currently I can just say we're working with Breitling. There's other companies, there's some confidentiality involved, and that's there. But Breitling is one of our bigger customers.
And if you go to see in Asia or specifically India, are there any companies from India who...
No, nothing from India. And in fact, we don't even do work in the Indian market. So domestic work is strictly not done by us. We only do non-domestic. So any country except India, they can send us watches.
So why is it like this?
Because as we are located in a special economic zone, we have import waivers and duty waivers on the equipment we buy, and we get other benefits. So the other side of that benefit is that this work is exclusively for export. So if we have the potential, we can do in domestic watches, but that might require us to set up another facility outside the SCZ, or there might be some other workarounds. But we are exploring that, because there is a lot of demand from the domestic market. There's a lot of demand from foreign companies who want us to take over their domestic market service for them. So that's something we are definitely pursuing at the moment.
Now, sir, you have seen how we Gen Zs are growing, and how all of this new generation is coming up. So what do you think, how their perspective is in all these analog watches? Because I think particularly all the luxury watches are more of analog and not into the digital watches. So what do you think on how these Gen Zs are pursuing, and how do you think your business will last long in the market?
So I can say from personal experience, I'm 25 right now. I mean, I'm also Gen Z, maybe the start of Gen Z, but I went from, for the first 10 years of my life, I don't think I could read a watch like this. I just would look at it, I'm like, what is that? I had a digital watch, I would read that, it could tell me the time in numbers. So that was, I was like, this is so convenient. Then smartwatches came. I wore smartwatches. I was like, wow, I can do so, play games, take photos, whatever, great. But, then as I grew up, I'm like, I don't want to wear that digital watch. I don't want to wear smartwatches. There are some people like them. I outgrew them personally. And by the way, the market tells us that in India as well, around the world, smartwatch sales have plummeted. So what does that mean? They're moving either back to quartz watches or to mechanical watches, and the trend shows mechanical watches, which we work on. So especially during COVID, there was a big boom in this luxury watch segment, and watch prices went up crazily, and I think that also created a whole hype around these watches, and luxury watches especially. And that brought interest back to this field, which was slowly dying over the last 30, 40, 50, ever since Japan invented the quartz watch. So now I actually honestly see, when I'm out and around, I see a lot of our age people wearing watches that are not smart watches, compared to before. Before, people might have not worn a watch, they might have worn a smartwatch, but now I see a lot of people our age they know watches, they recognize watches, they recognize brands, even specific references. They're wearing a watch themselves. See, for example, I'm wearing a watch, you're wearing a watch, Suresh is wearing a watch.
Yes.
So
even we prefer this type of watches.
Exactly.
It actually gives a good professional look.
it does. Exactly. That's the most important part.
Most important thing. Yes.
Compared to a smartwatch. Smartwatch, yes, it'll track your health, all that detail. It'll give you, but you're in a professional setting. You're doing
Yes.
going for work. This gives a added level of not even just professionalism, class, whatever you want to call it. It just elevates you entirely.
Yes.
So that is another added benefit that you'll never get from. And there are watches, there are quartz watches that look great, and there's nothing against quartz. Quartz is also good. We also service quartz, but I think that's the one added benefit these kind of watches have over a smartwatch, is that you will never get that professionalism and class from a smartwatch. You can put a nice strap and try as much as you can, but it will never work that way.
So also, I'm just asking you a personal question, okay?
Yeah.
Even you are like you love watches.
Yes.
So how many watches do you own for your personal? How many do you have?
At this point, maybe 15, 20 watches.
Okay, so then can you just name me top 5 that you love from those 15, 20?
So
Are they top 5?
This is one of my top 5 actually.
Okay.
This is a Frank Mueller Master Banker from. It's a little vintage.
Okay.
So this was back when Frank Mueller, before they started making all the big rapper style watches. So this is what the Swiss bankers used to wear. You can set 3 times on there, 1 main and then 2 additional times you can set.
Okay.
So just a classic watch, it's a little smaller profile. I like it. I can wear it daily and I can dress it up, dress it down as needed.
Exactly.
That's one of them. I have a Rolex day date.
Okay.
Check out from my father. That's, I think, my best watch in my collection. I love it. That's also, it's not supposed to be daily, but that's one of the watches I wear the most. Just it has a good weight to it, and I like wearing it, and it has a presence to it, I would say. Then I have a Rolex Oyster Perpetual. That was the first watch my mom bought me actually. This is when I didn't know anything about watches. I was at a show with her. Like,
So there are few memories that connect.
Exactly. I was like, I want to watch, and then I didn't know how much I should pay. What I was with her, and then she only negotiated and bought it for me. So, and that was actually the watch that broke, and that's how this whole thing came out from there. Yeah. So that's how it came to be. Then I have a Breitling. Obviously, we work with Breitling. I have a Navitimer Swiss Air edition.
Okay.
So that you can only buy on the Swiss Air flight from Geneva to New York. So that's a limited edition for that.
So even I don't have that much knowledge about watches, but I think the viewers will be watching it. They will be little bit mixed into watches. So they'll be knowing what all you're saying. You're trying to relate. So they'll be very much connected with all of this.
Yeah. So that's the Navitimer.
Exactly.
That has that you can only get on that specific route. They might have expanded that, but. It's a 39mm Navitimer, which is on the smaller end.
Okay.
And people generally Breitlings tend to be on the larger side.
Okay.
They're 44mm, huge watches. So when I'm finding my wrists are small, so I tend to wear little smaller watches.
Yes.
So that's another one in my top 5. And then I have a vintage Omega Seamaster.
Okay.
With the loom on it still has the radium.
Okay.
So that patinas really nicely and becomes a yellow color. And that glow in the dark is there, and it's a smaller watch, vintage, and that my partner Manu actually he gifted that to me. So that also has some shared memories and some history attached to it. So I definitely
that's actually good to hear.
Yes.
Like when you start actually from the watches, then you build a whole empire with the watches, and then you still have those kind of watches.
Exactly.
It's a good feel.
And then every time you wear them, you think about all the
Exactly.
the history attached to it, and all the memories come back. So it's great. Yeah.
So then so you are into all of this business, like you're specifically into watch servicing. So who do you think are your main competitors? Like you have been to Switzerland to all of these showcases, and what do you feel after going there?
In some ways we don't have a competitor, and in the sense there's no one doing this on a global scale where they're trying to just exclusively target non-domestic market. There are some players like Ahmed Siddiqui in Dubai, which have huge amount of resources behind them. They are mostly focused on the retail end. They account for roughly 5% of all retail sales,
Okay.
and therefore they have a large enough inflow of watches and customers where they do need a large service center, and they do at this moment have a very large service capacity.
Okay.
So they are a potential threat to us, but we are at this moment focused on just growing, building a moat around us. We have the added benefit of a special economic zone we are working out of,
yes.
so import export duty exempt. So we are not focusing on who our competitor is that much. We are just focused on providing the best quality of work, efficiency, getting watches in and out fast, and obviously expanding, reaching more clients. And because the way we look at it, the way we understand is what we are doing is a help to the industry.
Yes.
They need this right now. The industry needs this because there's watchmakers is a dying profession. There's no replacement.
Exactly.
Old watchmakers are retiring, new guys are not coming in.
Yes.
So we are, in fact, that's why we have a training room, is because we are planning to train new watchmakers from scratch, freshers, train them all the way to professional watchmakers here at our facility. So we'll absorb them as needed. If we can't absorb them, we'll send them out. We're not like that where we trained you, you come, only stay over. We are trying to help the entire industry while we do this business.
Yes. So now, sir, I just heard what Elon Musk usually does. So whenever he has few future plans, he usually writes it down and he tries to complete it within that 1 year, so that he's saving time and he's more concentrated on this future work. So what do you think? Do you have any plans for your company for the next 10 years which you want to complete it? Do you have any goals for your company now?
Yes, we do. In fact, so just so we are now a year and a half old. We want to expand. We want to get more clients. Obviously, future goals maybe 5 years down the line is go direct to consumer if possible. So instead of just reaching out to working through the brand means they take their cut and then we get our cut. So but we just bypass that, go directly to the consumer means we can charge a higher rate. We'll have more volumes possible if our marketing strategy is there. So that is a possible goal. There will be a lot of logistic issues in developing that. So we are trying to fine tune our existing business model before we then approach and try to get into direct to consumer.
So then, as you spoke about expansion, sir, so which country do you think will suit the best for your company?
I mean, at the moment, India, because in this industry they don't trust China, because there's obviously there's issues of them copying the products or replacing it with. Not saying it happen, not saying it happens everywhere in China, but there is instances of it, and there is a fear associated with that. That they'll put a counterfeit part or something. And luckily, made in India doesn't have the same ring that made in China does.
Yes,
made in China is you associated with these cheap plastic toys. You use it, you break it, you throw it. But made in India doesn't have that connotation, that negative connotation. Made in India, people think, what is that? Okay, it's just made in India. They don't have that. Oh, it's a lower quality product. That association isn't there, so that's beneficial for us. Labor cost, currently India is one of the cheapest skilled labor, at least.
Exactly.
So that the arbitrage for labor is there, and just like I keep emphasizing, the existing infrastructure of acres and that help will not be available to us elsewhere. So we are currently in the place we are perfectly suited to do this business in, and we have no plans anytime soon of leaving India or going to any other country. And like I said, we're so happy to see these watchmakers come back from Dubai, etc., back to their home, and just the joy on their face, it makes us happy. So why move elsewhere? There's no need to move somewhere. We want to keep doing this in India. We want to bring watchmaking back to India, make watchmaking, great in India again. So
yes, that's it, sir. So now you are seeing, sir, a lot of entrepreneurs growing. You are seeing every time that there are new startups, there are new innovations happening. So even you are a young entrepreneur, sir.
Yes.
So what one advice would you like to give to the young entrepreneurs who are now building or they will build?
The one advice I would give, and this is from personal, what the challenges I faced through my first startup, and this one is it's not easy. It's not easy, and that sounds very simple, but it's not. It's just it's much more than the idea. It's, you know, you have the idea, you make a business plan. Maybe people these days make it seem like, okay, you have an idea, you write down a plan, you get funding, and then you have a startup, it gets listed, you make millions of dollars. No, it's not that.
Not like that. Yeah, exactly.
From the moment we had this idea till we serviced our first watch, it took us a year and a half, right? And previous me and a lot of people out there wouldn't like. You're like, oh, what a simple idea. You just get 4 or 5 guys, you put them in a room, you teach them how to fix watches, and you fix. That's what the mentality when I first started my initial startup, We Connect. That's how I used to think, you know. And then you'll get someone will fund it, then you'll do this, do that. It's not like you have to wake up every day knowing that, you know, you're getting an inch closer, but it's that the idea is actually the least important part of it. It's how much work and effort you put into it day after day after day, post idea till you get, you know, first revenue. That is the most important part, and that's the part that is the most difficult to conceptualize, because unless you've been through it, there's no way you know the challenges you face. And people will say sometimes, oh, this guy got lucky, that guy. But no, some people, very few people actually do get lucky, but most of them put in that work. You just didn't see that part of it because you didn't know who they were when they were putting in that work.
Yes, that's
they became famous, that you got to know about, you know, this so many startups, you know the founders, but did you know them before they had the company? No. You do there that 4, 5 how many ever years they put into getting to where they are now. No one knew about them. So
it's always like that. There's a lot of congratulations, but no one is going to come and help you when that you actually.
I mean, it's not that no one will help you. It's just people don't recognize that part of the journey. That even people think, a lot of people's mindset, you know, startup is get rich quick scheme. You know, like how I explained, idea, plan, funding, business done. It's not like that. It's the amount of, you know, nuances, and with so much support and infrastructure, it took us a year and a half and so much difficulty to get this business up and running. I am so mind blown that there's some people out there with no support, no infrastructure, nothing, build these, you know, $1 billion businesses. That, you know, kudos to them, because that's just, now seeing the struggle and working through it, it's just mind blowing that they were able to do that. Yeah.
So what one advice you would like to give the young people starting out?
One advice I would give, great question actually, is when you're doing a startup, getting into it, first just sit down. You have your idea, just sit down and map out your process, you know, what the next year will look like, what the next week will look like. Because without set goals, even short-term goals, long-term goals, your mind tends to scatter. You know, that you have an idea, it's exciting, so you'll jump here, you'll jump there. Why don't I do this? Why don't we do that? You'll, you know, maybe ask a friend, and you'll start bouncing ideas off each other, and next thing you know, you just, you know, jumping left, right. You said you'd do the business plan, but that was 2 weeks ago. Where is the business plan? It's not there. You said you'll contact this person, talk to this person. You end up distracting yourself with newer ideas relating to that existing idea, and sometimes you go off on a tangent, you know. So that has happened to me personally with ideas I've had, and that's the one thing I would say is, you have an idea, you were interested in pursuing it, working on it, put down some, you know, short-term goals, put down some long-term goals, and try to hit that, you know. And if you aren't able to, then that is in itself showing that, you know, maybe it was just interesting early stage idea, maybe you don't want to pursue this anymore, and the more you're able to meet those goals and the more focus you're able to show, I think it's just a greater chance that your idea is a success, or it, you know, ends up being a successful startup. Because that's what is key, is the idea to not get, you know, blown out of proportion. It's to keep it contained, keep working on it, we keep working towards a goal.
So what mindset exactly an entrepreneur should have?
Should have been, obviously there's a creative nature to it, to have ideas and to think about doing something no one else has done, to be disruptive. You need to be creative, you need to be innovative. But apart from that, you need to persevere, in that perseverance, because it will be a difficult journey. It's a long journey sometimes. And just to wake up and get up and say, you know what, I'm going to continue trying to achieve this thing that no one has done before. And I might not have support, I might not have funds at the moment. Just getting up and making sure every day you are motivated to continue is the most important.
Okay, like they have to believe this.
Yeah, just perseverance. Just no matter what challenges, you wake up, you try to do it. And obviously, I'm not saying be delusional and if you see no end in sight, then you have to take a step back, reconsider, maybe change things around, and then either take a different path, or like we did with WeConnect, you have to just shut it down once you realize, cut the losses and go. But until you can, you should wake up every day, persevere, try to find new solutions, because there will always be problems every day. Every day you'll face a new problem. So the best part about it for me is every day I can come up with a new solution. That's the most interesting and fun aspect of this for me.
So if you go back to the time, then what would you change?
What would I change? I would change, honestly, initially when we were doing this, when I started this startup, I have a lot of ideas. Okay, so personally, I had this idea, I had another idea. So what I would change is I would focus solely on this, because when I first started this, I had another idea I was working on with some friends, and one more idea with some advertising business, and that was drawing my focus away from what this seemed like. This definitely had the most chances of being successful, the highest chances of being successful. This had the most scope out of all of the three businesses. But still, I don't know, just because the other ones are also exciting, and being able to sit there and just bounce ideas off with your friends and just sit and think was so fun that I was then dedicating time to all three at the same time. But if I had to go back, I would cut those out immediately, solely focus on this, give all my attention there, so that I'm not distracted, and I could have potentially grown this faster and helped my partners out more in times of need than being distracted by other ventures. And in my example, it was another idea or two ideas, but it can be anything. There's always distractions, so just trying to control and work around those and try to not be distracted is one of the most useful tips, I would say.
So how do you be in your personal life and professional life? How do you handle it?
But it's honestly little difficult sometimes. I think there's not enough hours in the day to do it. Now I wake up, usually I do some sort of activity. It can be squash, golf. I recently started doing some MMA. So I do in the morning. I'll do one of these activities, something just more cardio intensive. Then go home, get ready, come to work. Usually work is from 9 to 6. I tend to leave around 5:30, so because I go back and go to the gym again when I get back home. I do weight training when I get back. So then by the time I finish that, come home, have dinner. I'll either read some part of a book or watch a movie and sleep. It's the full day is over, So that does get a little repetitive, but that without that structure, once you get used to that structure, life becomes boring without it, So now that I do so much in a day and it's full, the second I have 2, 3, 4 days off, I'm just sitting there. I don't know what to do. There's nothing to do. I'm bored. What do I? So there's a good side and a bad side. When you're doing it, you're like, I wish I. But the second you stop doing it and you're doing nothing, you're like start getting irritated and anxious, saying, what is this?
So what's motivate you every morning?
Just I don't know. There's a lot of motivating factors. There's obviously financial motivation. There's motivation. That you are in charge of something. You own something. You are doing something that has an impact. That you are employing so many people and their lives depend on it. Their families' lives depend on it. and you are kind of at the center of all that, so you want to make sure that you are being responsible, get up, go do your thing. So because it's a domino effect, if you stop, then this person stops, then next thing you know, the entire operation has come to a shutdown, and then directly and indirectly you're hurting so many people. So that is a motivation to get up. I can help people, I can support families, I can operate this business, help the industry, and I get, obviously there's financial benefits to doing it. So that's what it is. Wake up, go do it, and don't think twice.
So one thing that inspires you outside the business,
Can you be a little more specific? What do you mean?
like the thing that inspires you more outside the business. I'm not talking about the business, but about your personal life.
Personal life, I would say, I think personally life is all about experiences. So when I'm not at work, I try to go, do something I've never done before. It could be like the other day I went and I drove a boat. I've never driven a boat before. So I was just finding new things to do that I haven't done before. It's just, that's motivation, because I'm like, I've already, I know how to drive a car, and what else can I try driving, for example. So
Okay, trying new things.
yeah, just
inspires you.
trying new things, experiencing new things, and just just the excitement that comes with it is that's what inspires me to do things in my personal life.
Everyone has their little secret to be stay motivated or productivity to be on top. So I would like to know what is your secret of the productivity.
So there's no per se secret. Just to make sure people are productive, we make sure we foster an environment where people are respected. It's a fun, safe working environment, and it's not, we're not just bashing them, give us 20 watches a day, blah, blah, blah. Productivity has to be, balanced. You have to have productivity work-wise, productivity life-wise, that work-life balance comes into play, and we try to manage that as well as we can. For example, we do, most people think Saturdays, is working. How can you? So, for example, we don't work on Saturday. Saturday, Sunday, all of them get off, and we realize that in fact improves productivity, because this is a intensive, like dexterity intensive process. They're looking through the eyeglass all day. There's strain on their eyes. So those 2 days they get to rest. It's good for them. It improves their productivity, and so in that way, the secret we can ask is I can say is that it's to not stick to the norms. Just because this guy is working 20 hours 6 days a week doesn't mean you have to operate the same way. You can try to adjust and build your own work around and build your own schedule, so that your employees benefit the most from it and put out the most productivity.
So can you mention some of the strategies of the business that have been grown and expanded to this much?
So strategies, so from me, I come from a data engineering background. So coming here, strategies were obviously to keep track of everything from the beginning. What the estimated deadlines, what were met, what weren't met. Project management that way. We also did a lot of specific to employees, how much their productivity is, what their output is, what we're supposed to be having, what our output is supposed to be, what our backlog is. So just end of the data. There's loads of it coming in, and unless you do something with it, it's a waste. So even in an industry like this, capitalizing on the data is a big thing, because end of the day, data will show you things that you don't sometimes see directly from that person. It might be hidden in the deep down, but data will reveal it. So that's one of the strategies. Just do. And people say data driven, but this is literally data driven. So that's one of the strategies. And and the other one is just keep doing and innovating in a way where no one else is doing it, and building a moat so no one can catch up to you. Just expand fast, make sure you're untouchable, and that's what the strategy will apply.
Thank you, sir. We had a very great time speaking with you, knowing about your company and yourself. So keep inspiring everyone, and also the viewers will be also inspired by you. So thank you. It was actually a very powerful conversation.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for doing this. this not only helps spread awareness about this industry, which is very niche, but it also, like you said, helps bring awareness about entrepreneurship to fellow future entrepreneurs and young entrepreneurs. So thank you.